Pungwe Basin Transboundary Integrated Water Resources Management and Development Program. The Pungwe River, a shared watercourse between Zimbabwe and Mozambique, is a 400-kilometer-long river that rises below Mount Nyangani in the eastern highlands of Zimbabwe and flows eastward through the Manica and Sofala provinces of Mozambique. The Pungwe Basin, which includes the catchment area of the main Pungwe River and its tributaries in Zimbabwe and Mozambique, covers a total area of 31,151 square kilometers, of which 4.7% lies in Zimbabwe and 95.3% in Mozambique. In terms of water resources, the Pungwe Basin receives over 2,000 millimeters where the river starts in Zimbabwe, but the rainfall gradually decreases as you move towards the coastal area in Mozambique. Although the Zimbabwe part of the catchment is 4.7% of the total, it contributes about 25% of the total runoff generated in the basin. As is the case in Southern Africa, the Pungwe Basin experiences extreme events, for example, both floods and drought. The Pungwe Basin is underdeveloped with no major dams in the catchment. In addition, water use is still very low. Administratively, the basin covers Mutasa Rural District, Nyanga National Park, and a small part of Nyanga Rural District in Zimbabwe. In Mozambique, it straddles part of Sofala and Manica provinces. In general, settlements in the Pungwe River Basin consist of rural village communities, a few scattered small urban centers, growth points, and commercial farms and estates. These are concentrated along the river valleys, in the floodplains, along main roads, and around administrative centers. The city of Beira in Mozambique is the main urban and industrial center in the basin. The largest administrative and commercial center in the basin in Zimbabwe is Hauna Growth Point. Other towns of importance in the basin in Mozambique are Chimoio, on the catchment boundary, Gondola, Namatanda, and Gorongosa. The Pungwe River Basin has an estimated total population of 1,199,567 people, of which 8% reside in Zimbabwe. It is estimated that by year 2023, the total population in the basin will have reached 2 million people. Economic activities among basin communities are largely agro-based. They include crop and livestock production, forestry, fisheries, gold mining, and ecotourism. Agriculture is a mixture of subsistence dry land and irrigated crop farming. The Pungwe Basin is characterized by unique ecosystems that have been created by microclimates that occur in the high altitude, high rainfall areas. These include two important vegetation relics of moist evergreen forests which occur on the Gorongosa mountain and on the slopes and gullies of the Inyangani mountain range, along the border between Mozambique and Zimbabwe. Around the Urema Lake and the floodplains, vast areas are flooded during the wet season, giving rise to floating pastures and conspicuous flowering water lilies. Protected species likely to be encountered in the Pungwe River Basin include fire lily on the edge of the escarpment from Mount Inyangani south of Ndarazi Falls, flame lily at the forest margin among bracken and woodland on the Highveld, tree ferns in and around the Pungwe Gorge, orchids within Miyombo woodlands and forests, especially along rivers, flays, bogs, and montane grasslands, cycads in the Gorongosa and Nyanga national parks. Vegetation types of conservation concern that are directly reliant on water are the seasonally inundated Gorongosa Tandos that links Zambezi Valley in the north with the Pungwe system in the south through the Urema Trough or Rift Valley. The seasonally inundated grasslands of the lower Pungwe Buzi floodplains comprising approximately 4,500 square kilometers of wetland. The estuarine mangroves and the rainforest at the Pungwe Falls. These vegetation types provide crucial habitats for a variety of fauna, some of which are endemic and/or threatened. In the eastern highlands of Zimbabwe, approximately 53 square kilometers, is covered with alien black wattle and Mexican pine, including smaller areas of Australian blackwood. These commercially grown species are a threat to the natural ecosystem in the upland areas through invasion by wind-borne seeds and subsequent suppression of the indigenous species. Significant occurrence of large mammals is mainly confined to the protected conservation areas of Gorongosa and Nyanga National Parks. Rare and vulnerable fish species are found in the Pungwe River, particularly in the upper reaches of the river. These cold water species dominate the upper sections of the river, where the water is of low conductivity. Warm water and marine species become more common in the lower reaches, such as the endemic Beira killifish. As a shared watercourse, the manner in which water resources are utilized and land use is managed in the upstream riparian state of Zimbabwe has an impact on the downstream state. The 4.7% catchment area in Zimbabwe contributes 28% of the total runoff, therefore water use in Zimbabwe is therefore likely to have a major impact on water resources in Mozambique. Water quality in the upper reaches of the Pungwe River in Zimbabwe is almost pristine, while land use and sanitation practices play a major role in determining the water quality in the basin's rivers. The largest water user in the Pungwe River Basin is the agricultural sector. On average, irrigation accounts for more than 80% of the total water use. The second largest water use is urban water supply to the city of Beira in Mozambique and city of Mutare in Zimbabwe. Although Mutare is outside the Pungwe River Basin, it receives its water by an intercatchment transfer through the Pungwe-Mutare Tunnel and pipeline. Rural water supply is, in comparison with the agricultural and urban supply, very small and is generally supplied by small local groundwater schemes. One of the key threats to the water resources of the Pungwe Basin is water pollution. The main sources of water pollution are rural and urban settlements, agriculture, afforestation, and gold panning. Saltwater intrusion is a natural phenomenon which occurs at the estuary. However, it can be exacerbated by high abstraction of water from the river during the low flow season. To address key social, economic, environmental, and institutional challenges in the shared river basin, the Pungwe Basin Transboundary Integrated Water Resource Management and Development Program was implemented by the governments of Mozambique and Zimbabwe. This program was supported by the Swedish International Development Corporation Agency, SIDA, through funding of 117 million Swedish krona. The program's overall objective is to strengthen institutions, stakeholders, and systems at all appropriate levels for joint, integrated, and sustainable management of water resources in the Pungwe River Basin, and to stimulate and support appropriate development-oriented investments in the basin to contribute to poverty alleviation and environmental sustainability. The initial phase of the program commenced in 2007 and is scheduled to end in 2016. The key achievements in the program are awareness raising on threats to the integrity of the Pungwe River Basin, poverty reduction through implementation of IWRM Small Grants Project, strengthened Pungwe Basin Management Institutions, ARA Central, and Zinwa Survey. The conclusion and signing of an agreement on sharing the water resources of the Pungwe River Basin between the government of Mozambique and the government of Zimbabwe. Poverty reduction through implementation of IWRM Small Grants Project. While the population in Pungwe, Buzi, and Save River basins is characterized by high poverty levels, the basins also boast abundant water resources. There is little development in storage infrastructure in the Pungwe Basin to increase water security and engagement in activities that improve the inhabitants' socio-economic status. At least 27 small grants projects have been supported and completed in Mozambique and Zimbabwe, ensuring that the widows and women living with HIV also benefit. Since the start of implementation of SGFs, in 2011, A total of 19 and 8 projects in Mozambique and Zimbabwe respectively have been completed, and so far 2,460 school children and 236 households in Zimbabwe and 543 households in Mozambique are benefiting directly from the projects. Assuming an average of 5 people per household, a total of 4,500 people have benefited from the Small Grants Fund. Income generation increased due to an increase in agricultural production, and as a result, beneficiaries are able to meet some of their day-to-day basic requirements. Most beneficiaries lived on less than $30 per month. The income on average for all projects has increased to a minimum of $90 per month. Expanded areas under cropping. In 2015, irrigation infrastructure has been installed on 37.5 hectares in Mozambique and 16.5 hectares in Zimbabwe. To date, PP2 has installed a cumulative total of 241 hectares in Mozambique and 116 hectares in Zimbabwe of irrigation. Strengthened Pungwe Basin Management Institutions, ARA Centro and Zinwa Save. ARA Centro and Zinwa Save are the authorities and stakeholder institutions. Pungwe Sub-Catchment Council, Zimbabwe, Pungwe Basin Committee, Mozambique are the authorities responsible for water resource management in the Pungwe Basin. PP2 developed and implemented a capacity building strategy to improve their operational efficiency in order to be well positioned to respond to the needs of the different categories of water resource users, in a way that allows for sustainability of their operations through revenue collection and other forms of stakeholder involvement and participation.
Esta é a captação de Ding-Ding, dista a 60 km da cidade da Beira, e neste preciso momento estamos a captar 60 metros cúbicos dia, e a infraestrutura foi instalada com uma capacidade de 96 mil metros cúbicos dia. Neste preciso momento estamos a captar somente os 60 metros cúbicos dia. E o maior desafio que temos nesta captação é que quando chega a época do verão, o nível do rio tende a baixar. Isso faz com que a dado momento tivemos que trabalhar com uma quantidade de grupos reduzidos. Retiramos mais um grupo, que é para podermos trabalhar melhor, controlar. E também temos uma das grandes ameaças ao nível do rio, que é a turvação. Mas assumimos nós que essa turvação começa a acontecer normalmente nos meses de outubro, a partir de outubro até fevereiro. Penso que a origem desse é do garimpo que tem acontecido na montante, e também um pouco da agricultura que tem acontecido ao longo da margem do rio. Então, esses são os nossos maiores problemas que temos tido aqui na captação de dengue. Penso, embora a captação tenha sido boa, a qualidade da água é boa após o tratamento, é boa e é aceitável para o consumo humano.
Enhanced Regional Cooperation. Mozambique and Zimbabwe are signatories to the revised SADC Protocol on Shared Water Courses, which calls for regional cooperation and collaboration in development and management of water resources that are shared by more than one country. The two countries share the Zambezi, Pungwe, Buzi, Save and Limpopo rivers. Therefore, a Joint Water Commission, JWC, for the management of joint water resources was established in 2004, demonstrating the willingness and commitment of the two countries to collaborate in the management and development of the shared rivers in order to realize significant economic growth. The Pungwe program supported the development, negotiation, conclusion and signing of a bilateral agreement on sharing the water resources of the Pungwe River Basin on 11 July 2016 in Chimoio, Mozambique. The signed agreement paves the way for the establishment of a river basin organization such as the Zambezi River Basin Commission and the Limpopo River Basin Commission. The main purpose of the body is to oversee the implementation of the bilateral agreement. in the near future. The institutions are anticipated to include the Buzi and the Save rivers, which are also exclusively shared by Mozambique and Zimbabwe. Challenges in the basin. Awareness raising on the threats to the integrity of the Pungwe River Basin. The Pungwe, Save and Buzi catchments face major environmental threats, ranging from land degradation, deforestation, stream bank cultivation and gold panning. High poverty levels in the basin drive communities to engage in environmentally harmful activities. One of the main objectives of the Pungwe program was to implement activities that would contribute to the restoration of the integrity of the Pungwe River and to minimize the impact of the environmental degradation by promoting environmentally sound water resource management practices. However, despite awareness-raising efforts, the achievements made in highlighting the negative consequences of gold panning, the activity remains a challenge which requires a multi-sectoral approach to solve the problem.
Shutterstock Music.